Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was America.
What?
What?
What's up, people? Welcome to the GSC Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Louchy, joined by Gianni,
Yo.
Jamie C,
Yo.
and Gianni Spagnoli back.
Yo, people.
Yo,
Back in the
Gianni.
New York groove.
How are you
Yo.
guys this week?
Stop doing that co-host thing. It really bugs me every week now.
I'm not taking responsibility for this alone, man.
Yes, you fucking are.
This is your shit, Ben.
This is
You're
yours.
fucking useless, Ben, so that's all you're
We're here
good
to
for.
laugh at you.
If I have to take this mantle myself, I want fucking child support. Oh, whatever. Anyway,
What?
let's start with you.
I don't get it.
You don't have to get it. I'm not editing this out. Fuck you guys. Man. Johnny, what have you been up to?
Let's start as we always do.
Is that what we always do? Not much, man. Not much. Not bloody much.
Boring.
Not a lot of time for gaming. We did a few let's just keep this brief. Some dungeon runs on Final Fantasy Online, that game.
Yeah,
Yep.
felt good, man.
What's Final Fantasy?
Don't.
We're
I've
not
never
talking
heard of this Final Fantasy. You see.
We've been told
Really,
not
Jamie?
to talk about it. Warned.
It's not like I came to the pub with you guys last weekend and just got completely neglected while you talked about
No.
fucking Final Fantasy for
Only
hours.
for like half an hour.
No, it was more like 4.
It wasn't. We kept stopping. But yeah, no. Yeah, it's a bloody good game. Let's get on it, guys.
Awesome. Good job, man. Good job. Jamie, what have you been up to this week, bro?
Like, I guess right now, I better have been busy this week. Otherwise, we're fucked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of last week's podcast, I mumbled in a few words about Castle of Illusion coming out this week.
Mhm.
So I've obviously that's what I've been doing then. Because I would have pre-ordered it before a cut-off on the PSN. I also got the original version, so I've been playing both. Finished the remake, lovely as it is. I've gone back and I've been playing the original, and I would like to have sat here tonight and said I finished that one as well, but it's a lot harder. God, do you remember when games were like solid?
Them old school games, man.
Yeah, like because that would have been 1990, and it's just like you're dead, start again. They wouldn't do that to you these days, would they? They just wouldn't. They'd be like, let's try again.
They'd be like,
You
don't
could-
worry, there's a checkpoint every 3 steps and you've got regenerating health. It's all good.
Do you
Yeah,
know what the
also
turning
saves.
point was? I've just realised it was the last time a game was genuinely that difficult or a level was that difficult was the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time, and then everyone just looked at it and went, "No, we can't be having that."
I don't think the Water Temple in Ocarina was anywhere near as hard as like the old Mega Man games and stuff, though.
Yeah, but
It was just
Oh, Mega
annoying
Man.
more than hard.
yeah, but you hit a brick wall sort of thing, and you couldn't progress any further, and it just got so frustrating. It was basically that. Just Mega Man was a bit more crazy.
I don't know.
The problem with some of these games, though, is like, do you remember that scene in Labyrinth where she's talking to that little snail? And he's like, look at that wall there. And then all of a sudden, there's like, you can actually fucking walk through it. That's my problem. with some
All I
games.
remember of Labyrinth is the song and that bulge. That's all I remember. Nothing else. That
But it
bulge,
with power. What power? That one.
I love that film.
It's fantastic. I've gone right off on one look. But yeah, Castle of Illusion, just hats
Yeah.
off. Because a couple of weeks ago, we would have talked about DuckTales and the HD rehash of that, and how that was just essentially the same game but smoothed over. Whereas this, I'm playing them side by side, and you can see that they've really reworked it, and they've come up with a few differences just to make it so it isn't just a bit of a polish, and you could play them both as separate games almost.
Which one would you say was better between the two? Between DuckTales and Castle of Illusion?
Oh, damn. I think too many memories surround DuckTales. If this had been Castle of Illusion 2, there would have been no competition, because that game was fantastic. I was built for it. But yeah, Castle of Illusion 1 is still a strong game, but DuckTales, like I said, just too many memories. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Histories. I've been doing some other comparisons.
All right, go for it.
I'm going to bore you guys, maybe not Gianni so much, but the Pro Evo demo and the FIFA demo have come out this week as well. Same day.
All
So I
right.
played them both.
I've been playing them both. Yeah.
First
Here's
impressions.
the thing. I mean, the PES is a complete rehash. It's a complete reworking on the Fox engine now.
Mm.
You can see it straight away. It's a different game, but it keeps the PES charm. And with PES, you have to have a skill. You have to be skilled to play that game. Whereas FIFA, you press a button with your face and it's a goal. So that's
I
the
love
difference.
Jamie.
Sorry, but it's true, isn't it, Gianni? You've played them both. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, it's not true. We're completely neutral. They're both great games. Carry on.
But here's the thing: I'm going to own both of them this year, and PES isn't launching next gen, so that already won the argument for buying that one first off the bat. Now, it launches a week earlier than FIFA this year, which is quite unusual. It's normally a week or two after. But yeah, I'll be picking that one up this month, and then I've got my FIFA paid for the PS4, so I'll be playing both. I know Gianni's picking up FIFA on the PS4, so that's where I'll be playing.
Yeah.
Better be online. Put down that fucking Final Fantasy and come play FIFA.
I'll have money soon. I can probably do it. Yeah.
Because he's big boy job now.
Big
Big boy pants.
Big
boy
boy.
pants.
Yeah.
I'm applying my lip stuff. You carry on. That's me done.
All right, sweet. Gianni, you weren't on the podcast last week, so I'm expecting at least some words from you. What have you been up to, man?
Not a lot. No. It's been a bit manic. Because every time I go online, you're online playing Final Fantasy 14, and I can't seem to get away from it. Although today I decided I'd play something different. And I apologise for missing out last week. I can't actually remember what I was doing, why I couldn't do it.
You didn't have internet, Gianni, when we recorded.
That's right. Yes.
Gianni's never had internet. This is the
'Cause I
first
moved.
time in 20 weeks Gianni's had internet. Look.
I know. I've gone a whole hog. We got like that BT Infinity bollocks. It's supposed to be super fast, but I don't really see much of a difference. Anyway, do you guys remember that game that got released on PlayStation Plus? That got released for free on PlayStation Plus, which was like, is it Night Underground? KNYTC?
Yeah. I played it on the Vita.
Did any of you play it?
Yeah, on the Vita.
How
much a piece of shit was that game?
Yeah,
Wait, what game is that?
It's a little bit like a Metroid style game. Well, I found it closer to Guacamelee, but with just no combat. Because Guacamelee was really fun and had great combat, but this game was just all about exploration, but it just wasn't really fun.
Yeah,
You have to do missions and.
It's
Yeah,
like it's really weird because they got this whole like. It's one of the laziest games I've ever come across. I mean, bearing in mind the characters are called Ray and Me, right? RE and MII, or I can't actually remember now. I really didn't give it that much of a shit. The controls are terrible. Bearing in mind you only run and jump and climb, right?
Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, you occasionally have to use an L2 button or something when you pick up something. But the thing is, it's just not worth your time. There was this one puzzle where you have to stand on a button, then you have to jump down and get through this gap before it closes. And as you go to drop, she keeps grabbing onto the side of the wall. And it's really fucking frustrating because there's nothing you can do about it. So you've got to try and aim yourself down this narrow passage without grabbing on the side to give you enough time.
Hang on, is this a problem with the game or a problem with you as a player?
No. It's a problem with the game because
Alright.
you know, in a lot of games where if they got that sort of like ledge catching thing, you can just like hold down or something or hold B and he won't grab on.
I don't know. I've never actually thought of that, to be honest. It's not something I've ever done. Usually I just sort of grab hold of the ledge and then like quickly tap jump or tap down or whatever to let go.
Yeah, this is the thing. On this one, they'll start climbing down the walls, right? Because that's what they do in this one. So imagine like a rope, and you have to climb down the rope rather than just fall. And there's no fall damage or anything, so it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and it's got this sort of, I don't know. It felt a bit like Limbo, but super fast and not half as good.
Okay.
You can download it for free, I think, or a demo or something. It's not, although I wouldn't recommend it. However, After
You could do this.
You could try. You could download it for free, but don't.
actually, don't quote me on that. I've got it on my list. I don't know why. But anyway, I put that down and decided to pick up Warp. I don't know if you. I mean, Ben, I was talking to you about earlier. But...
I definitely played some Warped. Yeah, when it was
Yeah.
on Xbox Live Summer of Arcade.
Yes.
I don't know whether it was out last year or the year before.
I know the one.
Yeah. Did you play it, Jay?
Jump, magic, jump. No, I didn't play. Sorry. Sorry.
That's the song.
Sorry. No, I didn't. I really don't think I will, to be honest. It looked fun enough, but I heard some good things around the time.
Yeah, it's a shame because I was really enjoying it because, I mean, you start off and, well, the story is you're just an alien who's been captured, and then there's this thing that says that you've both been captured and they've got to try and escape, and then you get your superpowers back. So yeah, it's and then there's a bit where it all goes along, and then you come to a bit where it just cranks up a notch where you can actually just like jump into the bodies of people and then explode them everywhere. It's totally unexpected, but it's just got this new dimension of a puzzler. So I'm really tempted to buy it. So, but yeah, I'd say I'd give that one a go because I had a lot of fun. I only played it for about, it must be almost an hour actually. But yeah,
You know what it reminded me of? That Warp game. It's the top-down version of that game that's gone free on the PSN this month. That stealth one. It reminds me of that, but in like a side scroll versus bird's eye.
Do you mean
almost
Clone in the Dark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You played that one. Pick that one up this month as well. It's free.
Yeah, I was played a little bit of that, but it didn't sort of hook me in as much.
No.
No.
I see it being because you can download it to the Vita, so maybe it's worth a little go on the move. People like Ben who have to travel really far.
Yeah. That.
That.
Mm.
Magic dance.
What I love is no one else will know what we're laughing at.
Only everyone that's in Labyrinth, man.
Are you not seeing this? You even responded to it.
What? Gianni, you're breaking the illusion, man. Stop alluding to stuff in the chat.
There is a fourth wall.
That's what I was getting. Anyway, and then the other thing I played was the Unfinished Swan, which I don't really get. Is it supposed to be this arty sort of thing? I mean, I get that it's quite cool, but I got bored of it.
It's like being bent over by some really pretentious artists and then just telling them you like their work, but it is good.
Yeah, but I don't really get it.
You're not meant to. You just throw paint, just throw paintballs at nothingness, and somethingness appears, and then and then it changes color every now and then. But you know,
No, I didn't get that far.
no,
No.
that's the thing. Like you don't want to get bored of it. Like later on, you just start throwing water balloons at like plants, and then they grow to make places for you to go and stuff. And yeah, it's scary.
I got up to the king at the Burger King, and then
Copyright infringement.
I didn't really want to play much further. Well, I couldn't get much further anyway. But I was like, well, the novelties run out. And did they pay? It must be a full paid game. But I'd have felt really ripped off.
It was a tenner, I think.
Because it just felt like a tech demo.
Sorry. I've got to stop breaking out now. I'm done. That's me. That's all my outbursts done for this week.
What just happened?
We'll send it you after.
Yeah, do that.
Cool. Did you get up to anything else, Gianni?
No, that's me done, really.
Would you moving on to me, man?
Well, the only other things is I bought Tales of Graces F.
Fucking great choice.
Yeah, waiting for that download. That was quite cheap, like less than 15 quid.
Is that on the Vita?
No.
Tales of Graces. That's the PS3 one.
Oh, okay, cool.
That was the one Ben's been bumming for ages.
Yeah.
before
It's really good.
Final Fantasy.
Better than Exilia that we've stopped playing.
I
need to get back on that.
I personally liked Graces more than Exilia. That isn't to say that Exilia's bad. They're both fantastic, but
Yeah, let's get back on Exilia.
Graces was more like my flavor of Tales game, so it was like it had more humor and stuff in it. Whereas Exilia was more serious, like story and stuff. I don't know. They're both really good.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing at this point Jamie's probably tuned out, so we could talk about Final Fantasy 14 as much as we want.
Let's do it.
I kind of have to.
Go on, I give you 3 minutes of Final Fantasy, and then I jump back in with David Bowie.
Sounds good. Go. What have you guys been up to in Eorzea?
Those dungeon runs.
The dungeons are pretty sweet. All I've done for the past couple of days on that game, right, is mine stuff, like hit stuff with pickaxe to get ore.
You've been mining, have you?
And then goldsmith. I made Gianni
and
loads of
crafting.
gear the other night, man.
Can you make me some gear? I need some gear.
Maybe if my gear works on you, then yeah, of course, man. It felt really good. I sat there like crafting away, and the crafting system's really fun. Like it's almost like the battle system. You have like different skills that you have to like pick and choose when you do them to get the best results. And like I started getting pretty good, managing to like make high quality stuff quite often. So that's why I decided to just quickly go and make Gianni a load of gear. Oh my god, that was awesome. Outside of Final Fantasy though, I haven't really done much this week at all. I got Kingdom Hearts 1.5 today.
Oh, you did get it?
Yeah,
You got
yeah,
cracked
yeah.
open,
It came out today, didn't it?
Yeah, and I started playing that earlier. I
How
played
is
for a
it?
couple of hours. It's actually really nice. It's obviously Kingdom Hearts 1 that I'm playing at the moment, or the final mix version.
Yeah.
It looks a lot crisper. I didn't know what the actual story behind it was, but apparently the original source code and stuff for the game was lost.
Really?
So what they had to do was basically reverse engineer their game to like get assets out of it and then remake a lot of the assets. So some things look really nice. Immediately noticeable in the beginning, you know, when you're sort of falling onto the platforms with the Disney princesses and stuff on them.
Yeah.
Those platforms look absolutely stunning. Like they're obviously remade because they're so crisp and vibrant. Like there's none of like the artifacting or like jaggies that were in the original version. But then it's kind of like more noticeable when you do see original textures because a lot of stuff has been like upgraded. So a lot of things in it look really nice, and then occasionally you'll just come across some really muddy floor texture, or like something on a character will be original texture whilst the rest of it's been retouched, and you'll instantly
So it's
notice
not
it.
consistent, but
It's not flawless, but I mean, it's not bad. It looks so much nicer than the original. Like,
I'm gonna have to
it's
get it.
much nicer. The only thing I would moan at is because Final Mix was exclusive to Japan before. There's no voice acting in the Final Mix scenes. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so scenes that were never in the original Kingdom Hearts that we had,
Yeah.
they don't have voice acting
I
because
thought it was just silent.
yeah, exactly. So
That's a bit
their
weird.
mouths are moving, like the subtitles are still there, but there's no voice acting at all in those bits.
How many new scenes are there then?
So far, I've only found one. Kingdom Hearts has been out long enough that me talking about the first 2 hours of the game shouldn't bother anyone.
No.
So just after you leave Destiny Island, before you get to Traverse Town, it shows a scene of Riku arriving in Hollow Bastion.
Right, okay.
And like sort of climbing up and then saying, you know, where am I and stuff. And then you see sort of Maleficent up in the tower watching him. But there's no voice acting for that scene because it was obviously never in the original. And I
Yeah.
thought, you know, it's kind of weird, but understandable.
What else could they have done, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they got the voice actors to do it now, it would just sound completely different. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that. It's pretty fun. Outside of that, I have been watching a ridiculous amount of this one show on YouTube.
Really?
It's
right,
like yeah. So it's these guys that get together on Twitch and they basically play Dungeons and Dragons, right? Which sounds fucking terrible, right? It's actually really good. The YouTube channel is called It Me JP, so ITME JP, right? Search it up and take a look. You'll probably enjoy it. It's like having somebody read a story to you on the fly, like just making it up as they go, but doing it in a really funny way. It's awesome, man. Been watching a ton of that. That's good stuff.
Cool.
That's pretty much all I've done this week, though, guys. So nothing really interesting.
Yeah. Well, next week a big thing's coming out, so
A big thing for you guys.
A big thing for us guys.
That
Anyway.
you'll have to try and sell me, I guess, because I'm not completely sold right now.
Yeah, we'll sell it to you.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, let's move on to the news that people care about then. The PS4 has confirmed to be launching in February in Japan. So that's, 3 months after the rest of the world?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Little bit of a PlayStation overload here, people.
Yeah, it's a PS
Doing?
theme.
Let's do it.
I mean,
Right.
with Sony's pre-TGS conference the other day, they should be expecting it. So
What does this mean? Because we've got a friend who's in Japan. Hello, Ricky.
We've got a few friends.
I know.
Well, yeah, okay.
Hello,
No, I mean, this one in particular.
Alex out.
You guys don't really use the Facebook as much as maybe Gianni and myself, but you would have seen Johnny, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Not Ben. Get on that. But you would have seen that our friend Ricky is. At first, he was really, really pissed off, but then on reflection, it gives them an opportunity to hit the realization that a lot of the games that are at launch for the Western market are maybe not so strong for a launch lineup in Japan. They really just need to knuckle down and get their games right before they launch it.
Really? So do we think it's the right move?
I think it's the only move they could have done. Because let's face it, it's always going to sell well in Japan regardless.
The Xbox hasn't got a hope in hell in Japan.
No,
exactly.
No way.
And don't forget, I mean, there's just something I've been reading up on is we're going to talk about it in a moment. But the Vita TV, apparently that's not going outside of Japan for the foreseeable future.
We'll get to that, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, but I think they may be quite clever with this by moving the PS4s, by moving it back, and then concentrating more on the Vita, because that's probably sold the best in Japan than anywhere else in the world anyway. So they can concentrate their efforts on that, have the PS4 start off in the Western market. I think it's the only move they really could have done, because they had to. Otherwise, it would have cost them a fortune to create even more. Consoles.
If I was being skeptical, I would say they're doing it because they know that they've got Japan in their pocket, right? They know there's no competition in Japan, so there's no rush for them to come out at the same time. So they can launch elsewhere in the world in markets that are probably going to be smaller than their Japanese market, at least at first anyway. And if there are any bugs with the launch units, they can iron those out before they release in Japan. Or, if I was going to be even more skeptical, I'd say that the interest in the console was so great around the world and pre-order numbers were so high that they physically can't make enough units to put it out in Japan this year if they want to meet the demand in the rest of the world. So I hope it's the last one though, and they are siphoning resources away from Japan to make sure I get my fucking console.
Well, there is a point here then that I've put further on down the running order for today, but we should probably mention it now then. They've just announced that there will be stock throughout Christmas for America, and that you'll be able to go into a retailer throughout the Christmas period and you'll be able to just pick one up without any issues at all.
Well, I hope that works the same for us here then, because I hadn't pre-ordered my PS4 before. We spoke about it on the podcast a few weeks ago. And then, for whatever reason, I just decided to pre-order it yesterday. So I pre-ordered my console, I pre-ordered Battlefield, I pre-ordered Killzone, I pre-ordered Watch Dogs, and I pre-ordered a second pad, right? And I had an email saying that it's not guaranteed for launch day. So, and I was like, well, I was kind of expecting that, but I hope I get it at least before Christmas. So this kind of gives me hope that, I probably will get it before Christmas.
Where's you order from? Sorry, Ben.
I pre-ordered from Amazon. So
okay, cool, yeah.
So I'm just sort of holding out a fool's hope now that announcement sort of means that, well, you probably will get it on launch day. So
yeah.
I'd say within 2 weeks of launch, though. But do you know what? I'm off work. You can come round. I've got a second pad.
I totally will.
If you can kick the wife off of Minecraft, you can play. I'm getting Killzone as well, so yeah, have a little go.
So I can come around and get spoilers for Killzone. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I might be one of the only people in the world that plays Killzone for the story, I think everyone else plays for multiplayer.
No, Battlefield for multiplayer.
Battlefield's story, don't know what you're on about.
What you want
The story?
Those shooter games have stories.
It's a bit in the tunnel with the rat.
I thought it was a 4-hour tutorial followed by multiplayer.
What? Killzone's got a good story. Space Nazis, come on. Anyway, so yeah, the PS4 is launching in February. That's a thing. The next thing
In
is
Japan.
In Japan.
the next thing.
Don't
Japan.
give everyone a heart attack.
The Vita is getting a remodel, which Jamie called I don't know how long ago, fucking ages ago.
Props
Probably
for
about
Jay.
5-6 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Round of
I did
applause.
say about the OLED being dropped.
yep.
Yeah.
As a way of getting it cheaper. But I'm
I was
happy
like,
I
no
haven't
way.
bought this week then. I'm going to get one of these ones when they finally come out over
Really?
here. Yeah, I'm done.
Wait. Is the screen bigger, by the way?
No,
I think it's just slimmer and lighter.
yeah.
So I think
Okay.
it's PSP Slim.
And cheaper.
And cheaper, there we go, because of the organic LED being replaced.
It is
I'm-
basically a Sony
excited,
2DS.
like-
See,
The
the
one
OLED
big
screen is a
memory as
big.
well.
The OLED screen is like a big part of why I love the Vita, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't see it being a massive benefit to me. The only time I'm going to play it is, like, in the darkness of my bedroom at night, so it's going to be bright enough anyway.
Yeah.
But I've been wanting to get back into it. I had one when they launched and, gave up on it because I wasn't so sure about the lineup. But now there's there's a massive back catalogue and a lot of PlayStation Plus. And a key point going into PlayStation 4 for the first year, well, you're not going to be getting any games worth playing on the PlayStation Plus subscription for a while, are you? So they're going to be all Vita ones, backdated.
Vita and PS3 and
Yeah, so I might as well have the option to still pick up some free games going into next year.
yeah.
Do you think we'll actually get DMC then?
We might
I think
eventually get it, yeah.
I think we will. I'm waiting for it. See, this is kind of the problem with the PS Plus. I'm trying to predict, like, when a brand new game comes out, I'm thinking this might go on Plus in like a couple, like Assassin's Creed 3. When did that come out? That was this year, wasn't it?
It was November every year, November last.
So
last year,
like less than a year or just over a year, and it's a free game already.
That's a marketing ploy to me, though. That's saying quickly, if you haven't played it, be ready for number 4.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
4, yeah.
But yeah, no, did I tell you? I mentioned on last week's podcast
That you pre-ordered it.
No, that I got the membership, the 1 year plus 30 extra days.
It's
No,
extra 9
9
days.
extra days. Yeah, so like
15
it's like
months.
December next year. I have to upgrade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm all ready for it.
You see, I'm not sure if I qualify for that because it auto renewed. So
Let's
Even
take a look. You should have got an email and it says your renew date on the email.
good point. I only just saw it on my phone, so I didn't really check too well. But yeah, I hope so because I'll be pissed off otherwise.
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff.
Well, have Sony mentioned anything about any sort of pricing on this new Vita model?
No, just that it'll be cheaper, right?
So
I've seen pricing on the Vita TV, which we'll go on to next, but I didn't see anything on the Vita remodel.
You
what
see,
do we think it's going to launch at then? Do we think it's going to be a substantial difference from the current model? And if it is a substantial difference from the current model, do you think they'll phase out the current model and only support the new model?
No.
I'm going to predict 150 with a memory card and a download code for a game.
That'd be good.
Sounds about right. Because what's the Vita? The Vita's currently retailing for about 200 here, right?
You
Yeah.
can get it at the moment with Mercenaries Killzone game for about 220, and that's the Wi-Fi model and stuff. But I don't know.
I keep forgetting how expensive they are. Bloody hell. Well, not expensive, but the price
Cheap.
point they're at. Yeah. But because I would have said they would probably trying to get it down to. I think you'll probably find it as low as 120 at. Well, it'll probably be about this time next year.
For the new model, you mean?
Oh yeah. But I don't see them phasing out the other one. Because I think what they've done is they've just matched Nintendo.
Well,
So
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Do we think they're just going to match the 3DS XL price point with this?
Excel.
Well, the XL is 180, so that would be the original Vita, and then you can get
So you reckon maybe
you can get a normal 3DS now for about 130, can't you? So they're probably looking to keep them like that because you can't get rid of the Vita with the OLED, can you? So,
Yeah, you'll probably find it will get an update. It'll be maybe a bit thinner, a bit lighter, whatever. But they'll run them two side by side. So you've got the cheap Vita. You got the cheap Vita with the cheap 3DS or 2DS even, and then you got the full blown 3DS versus the full blown Vita.
What do we think? Did they said it's a new model, right? But have they said what they're going to call the new model? Because it's got to have a little sub name after it. They can't just bring it out and say, look, it's the new Vita. It's not the same as the old Vita.
They threw it around 2000, PS Vita 2000.
They're going down that route again.
I think so.
Oh god.
They did that with the PSP, didn't they? That was the
Yeah.
1000 model, 2000 model, and so on.
Yeah, I think they're doing the same.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Originality.
Oh dear.
2.0.
But you're thinking about getting one, Jay. This relevant to your
I like
interests.
the remodel. It's fresh. I think I'd go for one of the wacky colours as well, just to be right out there, like green or yellow or something.
Yeah,
Why
that's
not?
cool.
But, if I could pick one up towards the back end of this year, if they were going to launch them, they're probably not
Yeah.
going to be until Easter next year at the latest. But I don't know. We won't get it this year, will we? That's the thing.
No.
Well, the great
Yeah.
thing about it is, like you said, at this point, there's a really tasty back catalogue of Vita games to play. So it's the perfect time to bring out something like this. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a price drop on the current model, but a new model that's cheaper to produce and cheaper to buy with the library that they have, like, it's a much more like promising endeavor, if that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
a proposition. There we go.
I do love that OLED though. I do love
And
this
if it
OLED.
can cooperate with this remote play system from the PS4,
Yeah, if that
I'm wondering if it can still run that, because
Oh,
the stuff
yeah.
they were showing off, it's fantastic. Just like pause your game, go out, pick up your Vita, and your game carries on. Like, Jesus,
Yeah.
how the hell is this even possible?
Cloud, man. It's all about the clouds.
But before we move on though, did they not? I thought they announced the Vita was getting a price drop anyway. I know the PS3 was, but I'm sure the Vita.
Yeah, but then the Vita you're still going to be looking at 180, aren't you, from like 200? something.
Yeah.
It's not going to be substantial.
But
'Cause
with,
if
I
the
mean,
XL is a 180.
it just seems a bit strange though that they have such a. If it was about 150, that's quite close to the.
Or maybe
current
130 for
maybe.
the newer, slimmer one. Because you are losing a massive key feature in the screen.
And they said that was always the reason why the price was so high. So.
Speaking of losing a massive key feature in the screen, then
The actual Vita.
let's talk about the PS Vita TV.
Yeah.
I don't know whether this is absolute genius or Sony making the most stupid move, man. Because there are features to the PlayStation. First of all, let's just say what the PlayStation Vita TV is, right? It's a small, 6x10 centimeter box.
Yeah, just a small device.
6x10 centimeter box that is essentially a Vita with no screen.
It's paired with a DualShock 3 as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So you plug this bad boy into your TV, you play it with the DualShock 3, and it is basically a Vita. So you can plug in your Vita cards and just go ahead and play the games on your TV. It's also supposedly going to be really cheap in comparison to a PlayStation Vita.
It's $95 American dollars.
$95.
Yeah, they've converted it from like the yen to have a look. So you are looking at about 60 quid if it launches over here. When it launches over here.
I'd probably expect it to be more like £80 or £90.
Yeah, 70.
Yeah, of
80,
course. Yeah.
£80 or £90 though for a Vita that you can just play on your TV. That's going to turn a lot of people off from buying a Vita handheld though.
Well,
Do you know
I mean,
the-
it's still win-win for Vita owners. I mean, because if it gets them playing Vita games and buying Vita games, we're going to see more Vita games.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean,
There's the pros.
if they want the hardware to sell, bringing out... I mean, I very rarely play my Vita when I'm out and about. Like, only if I've got a really long bus journey or a really long train journey will I play my Vita. And even then, it's if I've not got something that I'm currently reading or something like that I'll do. Most of the time, I play my Vita when I'm at home. So if this PlayStation Vita TV would have come out back in the day, I'd have probably picked that up instead, to be honest.
Well, different situation. I mean, because I travel a lot and stay at different houses. I'm never in like one place, so the Vita is always with me, and it is my favorite piece of kit. So,
I'll tell you one thing that is really impressive from what they were saying, though. Mm-hmm. That is, if you own a PlayStation 4, you can put your PlayStation Vita TV in a different room, like set that up. Say you've got the PlayStation 4 in your living room.
Yeah.
You can put the PlayStation Vita TV in your bedroom and then access remote play and use your PlayStation 4 on that TV upstairs.
It's very clever.
That is a selling point for a PlayStation 4 owner to buy one of those.
Yeah,
it's like you don't have to buy another PlayStation 4. You can just get the cheaper Vita TV, stick that in your spare room. Shit, stick a couple around the house. Have access to the PS4 in every room. That's awesome.
Just splooge your money everywhere.
Yeah.
I take the most impressive bit.
Yeah.
What was that guy that came out? I want to say it was like Mark Cerny or something. Am I getting the wrong guy though?
It probably is.
Yeah,
Did he have a
certainly.
really amazingly like sensual voice that just like made you want to listen to him? Did
With
he
his
get
little
to touch
goatee.
you?
The guy who kept sticking the knife in Microsoft, yeah?
Yeah.
He comes out and I'm like, hang on a minute. They're not going to understand him. And then he just starts speaking fucking fluent Japanese. I was well impressed.
Yeah, he speaks. He's
Like, go on. You're just, you created Knack. You've pretty much like laid your god prints on the PS4 and now you're just speaking fluent Japanese. Get out.
Mark Cerny. He should just do all of Sony's press conferences from here on out. I could listen to him talk for weeks.
He's a very pleasant guy.
He is. Is there anything else you guys wanted to go over about the PlayStation event?
I'd just say the negatives on the Vita TV, possibly then.
Go ahead.
These Vita games that require the back touchpad or even to just touch on the front, what are you going to do instead? Use your DualShock analogs?
No, they just won't work. Apparently.
Yeah, they've said that not all software is going to be compatible.
So yeah, you're going to start seeing little logos on cases saying Vita TV compatible, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because they're saying only a few of the launch games are going to work on it, including like Rayman Origins, which is great. If you already, never mind. All right.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Gianni, this next section is for you, man, because you mentioned that you wanted to talk about it. We're talking remakes and reboots, so HD re-releases, things like that, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we've had on for a while, and we've seen it coming up more and more. There's a lot of companies going back to their old catalogs and going, right, let's do a HD remix of this. Sometimes they're good, sometimes, well, I don't know. I mean,
Shadow here. Was it? No, Silent Hill.
Silent Hill 2, yeah.
Silent Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Really poorly done.
So, and then it's just got me thinking when you were saying about Kingdom Hearts earlier, and you said, there's some bits are great, but then there's some bits where they're either jagged or even with the voices, and it just makes you think, where does the line stop? I mean, there's games, yeah, great, they could do with it, but the more recent ones, or am I being wrong here and thinking that some of them could do with a bit of a polish and they look good?
All right, I'll defend the Kingdom Hearts one that I just bought and say that it's a franchise that they plan on continuing, but the original game is 10, 11 years old at this point. And they've got a sequel coming out on next-gen platforms within a few years, and probably a whole host of people that are going to be playing on those platforms that didn't play Kingdom Hearts back in the day and have no idea what's going on. And it's got a really, really convoluted backstory and stuff, this game. The series in general. So bundling the core games together in sort of two packages, because you've got to imagine that they're going to do a 2.5 as well with Kingdom Hearts 2 and probably a few other of the games as well after this one.
Birth by Sleep, that would be an amazing package.
Yeah, exactly. So you got like Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Birth by Sleep Final Mix, and then what was the other one that came out after that? Was it Recoded?
Dream Drop Distance.
Dream Drop Distance. Maybe. So yeah, maybe Dream Drop Distance will be the cinematics one on that disc, or playable, who knows. But having those in like two collections, like the entire backstory, will prep everyone for Kingdom Hearts 3. So that totally makes sense. Fable, though, which is coming out next year, right? Fable Anniversary or whatever.
It's just been delayed, yeah. It's just been delayed to next year.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
That, not so much, because, I mean, I don't see what they could do with it. They can make it look a little bit prettier, but that game wasn't... It was available as a classics download on the Xbox 360 anyway. Yeah. And it's available on PC, so, I mean, I don't see why it needs an Anniversary Edition re-release. Is that coming to 360 as well?
Which one?
Fable Anniversary.
It's just on 360, isn't it?
It's just on 360. So it's a game that you can already own on 360 for, what is it, like £10 or something on the Classic Store?
Yeah,
Something like
probably.
that. And they're going to re-release you a slightly prettier, higher res version to buy again. Now, that doesn't make sense to me.
So, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, and I think this whole topic has got a lot of steam because of Wind Waker, and I think a lot of you guys were quite excited because you liked the game, but then the one thing we all said was that does it really need a HD? Does it really need that?
Right. Here's where I would argue for Wind Waker. Right.
First of all, just ignore the fact that the Wii U has sold so badly. So imagine it was just a normal console. It was going as predicted or whatever. Would you say it's the right time, or Wind Waker actually needs it? This is what I think it boils down to.
I think people remember Wind Waker looking a lot better than it actually did, right? So when you see the trailers and stuff for Wind Waker HD or whatever, this remake version, you see the trailers for that and you think to yourself, well, that's how the game always looked. But it's really not how the game always looked.
No.
Yeah, I put it in the other day, and I'll admit it looks nice because the colours are still vibrant and stuff, so you can forgive it. But it's very jaggy all over the place, man. And that just isn't present in the footage that they've shown of the HD version. The HD version looks like a cartoon, whereas the original, it looks like a video game imitating a cartoon. So
yeah, I've put it in the GameCube recently as well within the last few months, and yeah, it's got work to be done, and a lot of the problems that came away from that game have been addressed, and that's an important factor as well. If you're just going to go and put the polish on it and not look at any issues there might have been. Then
have you guys seen the videos on YouTube where it like directly shows you the differences between the GameCube version and the Wii U version?
Yeah,
because they've enhanced the lighting, and it's not just a HD-ified version. It's they've gone back and redone the lighting.
Ground up stuff.
Yeah, they've done some really impressive stuff. I think it looks great. That'll be
sped up the sailing.
Another reason why HD re-releases can work is if you're doing a box set, kind of like Jack and Daxter did or Sly did, where you've got all three of the games at HD resolution in one package. Again, especially if it's going to be a game or a series that you want to continue making games in, getting that back catalog out to people in one package is a great way to get them invested in your series again, especially if you release it at a reasonable price.
It's funny you should say that, because when we were talking about Fable just earlier, I was thinking maybe that's what Microsoft are going to be doing not long afterwards, is bring out the triple pack of the three ones in the main part of the series, because they've done it. What do they do it with? They've done it with Gears of War? No, they haven't actually, have they?
Like Hitman. What you mean, like the
just release all of them in one package, like
Mass Effect.
Mass
Hitman
Effect,
did
yes,
that as well.
that's the one. And Hitman, yeah.
and Metal Gear Solid.
But I would argue that Mass Effect kind of deserved to do that, because all three of those games, I look at all three of those games as if they're one game, even though I know there's differences between them, because it's the same character and the same choices that follow through from the beginning to the end.
Key factor in the Mass Effect as well is that Mass Effect 1 wasn't previously available on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So that was a way to bring it over as well.
Yeah, I suppose there was that as well. But also with Mass Effect, it would have been easier to do because they were designed... Well, yeah, all three of them were designed to interlink with each other. And there wasn't that much of a gap between the releases, so it was a very similar engine. Whereas between Fable 1 and 2 and then 3 was quite... Well, I suppose graphically they were totally different. Not totally.
Well, between Fable 1 and 2, there was a huge jump, wasn't there? Because you had a console generation. But between Fable 2 and 3, there was not really that much in the way of difference, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, I don't think I could tell the difference between... I mean, having played it, yeah, you can, but visually, I don't think that there's anything different between the two. Maybe a little bit sharper between 2 and 3. But yeah, that's the only thing that came to mind, is maybe they were looking to do one of those, a bit like especially with, as we mentioned, Metal Gear Solid jumped in on it as well.
Speaking of Metal Gear Solid,
yeah.
How many of you guys jumped on that the other day? That deal that came up.
Yeah,
Go on,
guilty.
then, go on.
So
Fred, tell them about it.
it was where was it? It's Play Asia, right?
Play Asia.
They listed Metal Gear Solid Legacy Edition, so that is the collection of all of the Metal Gear Solid titles from the PS1, PS2, and PS3, right? And Peace Walker HD as well, I think, is on there.
Yeah.
They listed it for something like $5 or $9, which worked out to about £5.
Yeah.
So obviously we jumped on it straight away.
Indeed, yeah.
And slammed some pre-orders down on it. It was never going to go through, let's be honest. It was never going to work out. It was obviously a human error that somebody had entered that price wrong. So I got an email back saying, we saw that you pre-ordered this game for $5.40 or something, or $5. It was supposed to be $59.99, so we've had to cancel your order. We've entered you into a prize draw where 9 people are going to win a copy of the game, right? And here's a 10% off voucher. So I was kind of disappointed, but at the same time, I'm hoping that maybe I'll be lucky and win a copy.
And also, 10% off next-gen titles. Nice.
That's true, man.
Have 180 days. I mean, to be honest, they could have just turned around like we would have done in the shop and gone, yeah, fuck off. It was a mistake. Mistakes happened. Deal with it. I know it's bad PR, but they didn't have to enter 9 people because they put it up for $9. Didn't have to give everyone 10% off. So I think
that's true. But there's enough entitled fuckers out there that would have kicked up a fuss and gone, well, I pre-ordered it for that price, so you should deliver it for that price. Not taking into account that sometimes human error does happen.
Yeah, but we always used to get that, and I used to laugh in people's faces and go, if you shove a £20 price point on a Ferrari, doesn't make it 20 quid. Mistakes happen, or people try and cheat a system. But no, I mean, it was a shame. I was gutted. I wouldn't go so far to say disappointed because I knew what was going to happen. But it was a bit of fun anyway, just the thought that we could get it for so cheap.
I was actually kind of relieved after that happened, to be honest, because after they said, we're not going to process it, that was the same day that I realised, shit, Kingdom Hearts comes out this Friday. So I wouldn't have been able to order it otherwise. And because that order didn't go through, I ended up being able to order that, which is all good in the hood, man.
Mm. But I think that leads on to the only other thing that's left to say is what's a correct price point for a HD game? I mean, all right, we'll put Wind Waker aside because it sounds like they put a lot of effort into it, and I suppose they kind of have to because the next Zelda, God knows when that's coming out. But ones like the Metal Gear Solid, I mean, yeah, right. Take Metal Gear Solid 2 for example as a standalone.
I think.
£10 better.
£10 is more than enough, or £10 is a good price, I think, for a HD Metal Gear Solid 2. If it launched at $9.99, I'd probably buy it again. I mean, I won't because I already own Metal Gear Solid 2 HD, but that seems about the right price for a HD re-release.
Well, no, what do we get? Sons of Liberty, Snake Eater, and Peace Walker for £25 on disc.
Yeah,
when it launched last year,
and
the year before.
Shadow of the Colossus and Ico came out at, I believe, what was it, $20 or $24.99?
20 for both of them.
Yeah, and that is a perfect price for those two games.
So it's £10 a game, isn't it? But it's just something that Johnny said, because you weren't going to get it, were you, Johnny? Because
the Metal Gear Solid one? Or...
Yeah, the anniversary. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I own all of those games.
And that was the one thing I was going to say. Now, it's all right saying, "Oh yeah, we got it built from the ground up even," and then try and charge 30 quid for them. And I'm thinking, but these people who are going to buy that game most probably have already got it,
How much is the Wind Waker game? Sorry, I know that you mentioned
ranging from 40 to 45, depending where you shop.
So they are charging a full price.
Yes, full retail game.
Which I don't think that's right. I know they've put a lot of work into it, but it is still a re-release of a game.
I would have liked to have seen 30 to 35,
Yeah, I think that's a bit cheeky.
It is essentially a 10-year-old. In fact, it's even worse when you think about if say I don't know how much was DuckTales and Castle of Illusion?
$10.99 for DuckTales, tenner for Castle of Illusion, I believe.
Okay.
Roughly thereabouts, yeah.
I suppose that's not too bad, but we are talking
they're
about
3-hour games though.
They're
Yeah.
not. They're also
20 years
not
old.
like just HD touch-ups. They're games that people have completely recreated.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they put a skin on it. I mean, it's.
You say that as if it's easy. You say that as if they've just gone into a program and hit the skin button, man. That would have
Mate.
taken an entire team, probably a couple of years.
Gianni's one of
man.
these guys that just carries duct tape and WD-40 around with him all day.
Look, all I'm saying is they've got. It's not like they've had to do much in advanced programming. The program's all there. They have to. I don't want to put. What I'm about to say is going to really. It's really going to hit a few nerves because it's kind of generalizing over a whole industry. But I don't know. They're putting on a cartoon sprite over an existing animation. So is it really that labor intensive?
I don't know. The question would be, do you really think they're using the same code that they used on the NES game, Gianni?
No,
Do you really think they've opened up the NES code and then just changed out the sprites and artwork? That's not what's happened, man.
No, obviously they've got to do this. They've got to stabilize the game and stuff for a new platform. But
all of that code for that game will have been written from scratch, man.
Especially when a lot of those codes now are only accessible through a USB port on Miyamoto's backside.
I reckon he has got one.
That's why he's still in the company. That's why he hasn't retired yet, because he has to be in the office.
He's just Nintendo's cyborg game machine, man.
He's the hub.
It's just above his ass where a tail would be. They just plug it in, man.
The only thing I'm going to say is they wouldn't be doing these HD remixes if there was no money in it. And that's all that worries me a bit, is that they think, oh, we could put this other game on hold because we can just spend a little bit of time on this one, get it out there, charge 20, 30 quid for some games, and make a tidy profit. Because they don't have to do the writing. They don't have to do any of that. They don't even have to advertise it because the game's already advertised from before. So they literally just have to update it a bit and throw it out. So, it is a lot cheaper than making a game from the ground up.
That's true. All right, I'll give you that. Right.
Speaking of Zelda,
there's a lot of pre-production that goes on in games, man. Before people even start writing code and stuff, there's probably been a year or two of sort of research and development going on in the background. So that would have been cut out completely, almost. You'll still need an art team to build your assets and stuff.
Well,
but you're still talking 2 years,
guys.
Huh?
Didn't Aonuma laugh at doing the Majora's Mask remake as well? Like I guess, it wasn't profitable to do because we all bought the Zelda for the 3DS, didn't we? I did. And
you guys, the Ocarina of Time one, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone was asking for the remake, for the 3DS version.
About 1,000 people online, hardcore Zelda fanboys, were demanding it, man. I don't think many other people. I didn't like Majora's Mask. You guys all know that.
I really liked it. I
probably wouldn't have bought it. So
it's the darkest Zelda.
Yeah, but there's a simple reason why they're not doing Majora's Mask, and it's sales figures.
Yep.
Majora's Mask fell well behind Wind Waker, and even further behind Ocarina of Time. There's no chance in hell. It probably sold less than, it would have on ones on the SNES and possibly even the Game Boy version.
Yeah, but that's because it came at a really bad time. You had to get the add-on, the N64 add-on
expansion
chip,
pack,
the expansion bay.
Yeah, but don't forget, they've got
a really bad time. Whereas I think it would do pretty well on the 3DS.
I'm not so sure. Because
what were the sale figures for Zelda for the 3DS? Does anyone? I guess no one would know. But
I don't know off the top of my head.
I would assume they were pretty good, and I think everyone who brought, the first Zelda would probably pick up Majora's Mask. At least give it a go.
I think Majora's Mask was always a bit of experimental anyway, to try different things and bring in Tinkle.
Such a great game.
Fucking Tingle.
Tingle.
Staple now. Come on, leave him alone.
Jesus Christ. But but don't forget, they've got to go to someone high up in their finance and go, look, we want to do this game, and they're just going to look at them and go, based on what? I'm
if he really wanted to do it, he could always quit his job and then make it, but with a different name. like Mighty Number 9.
Yeah,
God, I hope that's good.
kickstart that stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I can't really. The thing is, you look at the Wind Waker. You're talking about it being a £40 to £45 game. I've just spent 60 on it. So there are suckers like me who will buy the limited edition.
But you've got a cool figurine with it.
Yeah,
I suppose there is that.
that Ganondorf is really nice. I probably would have paid 20 quid just for that Ganondorf.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, so
that's
nice.
pretty cool.
You know, that's all right. But yeah, they know what they're doing. They'll be all right. They've dropped a lot of the issues with it. Like I said, they've sped up the time on the sea. At the end there, where you have to go around and get all those bits, they've dropped a lot of that out of there now as well. So.
I'll tell you what, I'd much rather see, and I've said it before, right? Instead of doing Majora's Mask, they should do Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks without the touch controls for 3DS.
Yes, please.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what they should do instead of Majora's Mask. That would.
I'd do that. I'd play that.
They could even release them at the same time. Put in some sort of like connectivity, like Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, even though they're technically direct sequels or whatever. Even though one's like 100 years later or something like that. Like, bring them out at the same time. Put some connectivity between them, like Pokemon do. Bam! Like, you're selling 2 copies to every Zelda fan.
Oh, and sorry, finally, I was talking to Scott about this. You know how much of a flop the GoldenEye reboot was? GoldenEye Reloaded or whatever it was.
Let's be honest. That wasn't a reboot, man. That was a new
It's just
game
you had the name on
that
the
they
tin,
slapped
didn't it?
GoldenEye on. Yeah.
It was a COD engine with yeah. Now, I think if what they should have done was GoldenEye HD remix and just adjusted the control scheme a little bit using twin sticks rather than the auto aiming or what it had before, and that's all they needed to do. They did too much with it and they fucked it up. You know.
Well, there's no way that's ever happened. Who owns the rights to GoldenEye at the moment?
Who knows? Rare, Nintendo.
It's never going to
Activision.
happen. As much as we'd love for it to happen, Johnny. Actually, didn't you tell me you probably wouldn't be excited if it got re-released on the arcade or whatever?
No, I wouldn't be.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess, did you play a lot of it when you were younger?
I played a lot of it, and like I had a lot of fun. But have you guys ever gone back to it?
Well, yeah. This is what I was saying. Though. If they changed just the aiming and stuff, just the aiming, that's it.
I don't think it would do enough for me. It's one of those games where it was great for its time, but we've come so far now.
It's almost like the nostalgia gets ruined when you go back and revisit things, right?
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
like everyone's...
that happens. Like you go, oh yeah, I remember that. That was so good. And then you
Like,
sit
if I-
down and then you're like,
Yeah.
no.
Exactly. Like if I went back to
That's
Pokemon
fantastic.
Red on the old Game Boy, like I
It's
absolutely
still
love
really
that
good,
game.
man.
No. I
No,
absolutely.
No.
Mate,
But no,
there's
it's
a
so
certain
playable.
charm to those wacky Pokemon sprites
Yes,
that are in that game.
It's called
man.
nostalgia, and like it doesn't mean it's good. Like it was great for its time, but
It
because
plays
we've-
like every other
but-
Pokemon game,
I was going
man.
to say they haven't
Yeah, but-
changed it.
yeah, but all the enhancements and stuff, all the little things that they've added.
Like what? Holding berries?
Holding berries, that is a
Mate,
big
the
The
part
core
of the
game
game.
is exactly the same still,
It's a
man.
big part of the game.
Can you move diagonally yet?
You
Yes.
can in the new one.
Oh wow!
Oh.
It's only taken them like what?
Oh,
Don't
dear.
take the piss, Gianni. Me and Johnny were super hyped about this.
It's
Yeah.
only
Is there,
taken 18 years.
We were
18
genuinely
years.
excited about that.
There's
Oh.
I've just found David Bowie's Crotch Appreciation Club on Last FM. Join in. Anyway, do you...
Moving on.
yeah, but like just to top off the whole remakes and reboots, because it's been a bit of a long-winded one. Then I think the bit I wanted input on would be: do you guys have a game that you'd like to see rebooted?
Final Fantasy VII. Fuck's sake.
Of
Yes.
course, right? No, I want Mystical Ninja Goemon from the N64.
Yeah, I'd have that as well.
I preferred the SNES game.
The what one?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I preferred Mystical Ninja Mystical Ninja on the SNES to go
No.
the 64.
Yeah, I like
No.
the SNES one. That's what I was talking about. I prefer the SNES one as well.
I'm
Oh,
not
dear.
saying that the 64 one was bad. The 64 one was fantastic, but Mystical Ninja on the SNES was just so fun, man.
Yeah. Brilliant.
I have the Game Boy one.
Why not just put both on the same remake, man?
Why not?
Remake Goemon, put the SNES one on there as a fucking freebie or whatever.
Well, here's
Ninja
an
Gaiden
idea.
did it. You bought Ninja Gaiden.
Here's
you
an
played
idea,
old Ninja
Konami.
Gaiden.
Just fucking make a new game of it.
Just do it.
Admittedly, the 64 version did only sell 200,000 copies in its run.
Really?
So, yeah.
They had a big.
I love it.
That.
I was like, oh, massive mech fights and pervy fat old men and robots that throw kunai. What's going on? Why not?
It was good. It's a good universe, man. A good wacky universe. I enjoyed it a lot.
I found the translation for the Japanese version. It's called like "Go for it, Gomon, Dance of the Neo Peach Mountain Shogunate." Is it Shogunate?
Shogunate.
Shogunate. All right.
Yeah.
No, Tay. It's Tay. Yeah.
Shogunate, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to call him Shogunate. I'm going to keep
Shut up,
calling him
Ben.
Shogunate. Fuck you all.
Yeah, shut up, man.
Shut up, Ben.
All right. Well, mine, other than the Zelda twin pack that I came up with earlier, mine would be Final Fantasy 7 as well. Once Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 are out of the way, they should do it, I think.
When we're all like 40.
I'll still play it, man.
Yeah, me too.
You're like Avril Lavigne, man. You're never going to grow up. You'll be playing games when you're 6.
She's with Chad Kroger, man. She's already
Say,
Still
you're
skater
Chad
boy, man.
Kroger.
You're like Avril Lavigne, man. You're going to get married to Chad Kroger.
Her taste in
man.
men is terrible.
All right. GTA 5 is on the running order again.
Holy
I know
shit.
fuck all about GTA 5, so you guys
Do
can
you know why it's on the running order? Because by the time the podcast is live, literally GTA 5 will actually be out this time. So all the jokes about that.
Cool.
Shit.
By the time you launch this
Just
podcast, GTA will be out.
Those of you that are actually listening on Saturday, the 14th of September,
Fuck off.
it's not out today.
Sure.
It's not out today. all
You are
right?
not getting this out tomorrow.
The gauntlet's thrown now.
He's talking a big game.
I think we're just going to have to bully you every week so we can actually get the podcast within the same week of recording it then.
I have to, otherwise there will be no podcast this week.
Yeah. All right, challenge accepted.
All right, well, you guys should talk to me about GTA 5 coming out then. Or we could just move past it. Just saying.
Not much to say. It comes
There's
out
a few
Tuesday.
bits. Obviously,
It comes out Tuesday, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so... I
Going
don't
to
know
be
what date
delivered
that is.
the 17th.
Tuesday the 17th, there you go. Grand Theft Auto 5. The rest of the world's going to buy it. You might as well. Like, it'll be the talking point. You might as well buy it.
This could essentially just be Game of the Year, couldn't it now? That's the problem.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. The map leaked this week,
Oh, it looks
apparently. So
Yeah.
I'm not bothered by any sort of spoiler that a map could show me. I mean, geography's never really been a titillating prospect, so I wasn't really bothered about seeing a map. But no, it looks big, and we like big maps,
We do like big maps.
especially when you've got 3 characters that just go off and do their own thing, and then you can jump into their lives and be like, oh look, you're over here.
I'll admit that was cool.
Yeah. It's
I'll
cool
admit
the
that
pink
switching
part-
back and finding them in the middle of something that you didn't tell them to do is also cool. That's awesome.
Just gonna find him playing golf and stuff. Yeah, but what else really? I'd say look out for the figures then, because there's so much going on surrounding this being the biggest entertainment release of all time.
yeah, or even big, like, it was so big that even Amazon was like, just to make sure everything goes smoothly, make sure you have money on your card and
They're
someone's
really, yeah.
Yeah, because I think they're really,
You got the
They don't
email
wanna
I
mess it
got,
up.
yeah.
yeah, it's like, don't mess it up. It's going to be a
Amazon,
big...
sure.
they're just salivating, man, waiting for that payday.
Yeah.
Here you go, there is GTA talk at the moment. Right,
£35 though. Oh, okay, yeah, Karen.
yeah, jumping past the point then, Ben, trying to say there's no news this week. That's because you don't do your research. Right,
I don't
So-
give a fuck about GTA. What? Carry
Today-
on.
shut up. Today, right, it was supposed to go live for the pre-download. Obviously, they initiated that stage earlier on, and they started to run some pre-downloads for people, and that's how the game leaked. And so the next batch of pre-download was the batch was supposed to start today, but obviously there's just so much worry surrounding it leaking or going wrong again that they've postponed it till Monday. Now, if you've got a crap internet connection,
If you've got any
you're
internet
going to be
connection,
kicking off at midnight when you can't start playing that. That's going to be the problem.
you ain't unless you're there as they set the servers live, you're not going to get that day, I don't think. Depending on how busy it is on PC. I mean, how busy was it to get the freaking download on Final Fantasy 14? That's going to sell maybe what 100 times what Final Fantasy 14 does.
Yeah, but let's be honest. I don't think Square Enix knew exactly what they were doing
No.
with that launch at all.
You can
But
know as much as you want, man, but when you've got like 1 million people trying to use your server at once, or your servers...
Bang a fucking disc, it doesn't matter.
The only thing that can go wrong for me is the postman just doesn't bother coming.
That's true.
Frickin' postman.
And you do have some scary people outside your house, Jay.
They did this to me the other day, though. I'm sat around waiting for my Iron Man Blu-ray to show up, and the postman comes at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What fucking kind of time would you call this?
That's the best sentence I've ever heard.
Why?
Sat around waiting for my Iron Man Blu-ray.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing
wrong with that. I literally just bought my Iron Man 3 Blu-ray today. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it's a great film. Good stuff.
Reach out, good man.
Yeah, good stuff.
Awesome. Kingdoms of Amalur. The rights for that are up for sale. They're going to auction. Who do you want to see get that IP? And why?
Capcom.
Do you?
No.
No, that could work.
It could work. Damn, yeah.
Let's put it at Capcom, and let's get Cliff Bleszinski working there.
Imagine another Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, that could work, man.
But Dragon's
Again,
Dogma
I wouldn't
better,
want it.
right?
I wouldn't want it
How's it
to
gonna
take
vary,
away from Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah. The thing is, Kingdoms of Amalur is nothing special. I know that guy wrote like 1,000 years of history. It's all a bit bullshit, really. I think they should just start over.
How many
They
times?
should just
rip
start
off
over.
It's like the issue with like someone like Crytek bought Homefront 2. Who gave a crap about Homefront in the first place? It's just
That's true.
start over and like, the Koreans are invading America. Lucas, no idea.
The only reason Homefront did any kind of success is because of the massive marketing campaign that was behind it. It was everywhere, man. Homefront was everywhere. And then it came out, people said, well, it's alright. The story's okay. And then that was it. No one played multiplayer on that game. So why does it need a sequel? Why did Crytek even buy them?
I don't know.
We will never know.
I think, Kingdoms of Amalur will be a waste of money for everyone who wants to buy it. I just think, no, just start over. Do something else.
It's true.
The better acquisition this year was Darksiders, right? So that has a potential future, whereas something like Kingdoms of Amalur didn't really take off.
Oh, Darksiders totally has a future, man.
Yeah. There's still 2 other players.
Well, it's a story that I want to see the end of as well. I think a lot of people that play Darksiders 1 just want to know how that story ends. Darksiders 2 was a bit... Sorry, carry on.
No, go on.
I'm just saying Darksiders 2 was a bit of a letdown because it was a side story. And I know their excuse was, well, there's only one apocalypse. Who's to say that the apocalypse had to end in the sequel?
And hang on, that's no excuse because the first one was amazing. So can we not talk about that though? It upsets me. Thinking about that game really does upset me a little bit because I was so disappointed.
If ever there was a game that deserved the princesses in another castle, it was Darksiders 2. All it ever was just like, you've done this, well done, but it's going to happen again and again.
It's more like our shits given are in another castle. They just could not give a shit.
Missions of the trifecta nature, but hang
on, go back to Crytek, and do you guys remember us talking about, or me bitching about the fact that they had no interest in doing time splitters?
Oh yes,
yes, and am I right in saying they're going to be HD as well? So
you're the man with the news on this one because I saw you like literally jerking off on Twitter to this.
Yeah, I actually can't. I got so excited I didn't actually read it in full. But yeah, they are apps. I didn't realize this, but fans are making a Time Splitters 4 or spiritual successor.
It's not a Time Splitters 4. It's going to start out as a Time Splitters game with sort of current gen graphics and stuff, but with every map from every Time Splitters game eventually playable in multiplayer. And they're going to work on bringing the single player campaigns to it as well, and it's going to be free. So
but that's the ones the fans are doing, isn't it? And I thought I read that they are doing. Oh no, sorry, there was a petition. But anyway, yeah, Time Splitters is coming to PS4 anyway, and I'm guessing Xbox One. Actually, will it? Time Splitters was on the original Xbox, wasn't it?
It was originally a fan project. and the only way that they were allowed to actually finish that project and release it is if they made it free, and then they got the official endorsement to go ahead and make it. So
that's fair enough, because Crytek had no intention of doing it, and themselves, they said that they had no intention. It was a couple of years ago I read it. So they had no intention. So it's good that at least if some people pulled their fingers out, they're going to endorse it still. I'm excited for some reason. It's going to be it could be totally different, but I don't know. It's fan made. Hopefully they'll keep it true and see what comes out of it. Interesting.
Cool.
PlayStation 4 port. That's it.
All right. Well, summing up the Kingdoms of Amalur thing, then no one gives a fuck because it was meh.
It was a budget fable.
All right. Well,
random news filler.
Yeah, I guess the last thing I want to know is what the hell is this Cortana versus Siri thing?
What is this?
Yeah, someone tell me what that is. It's the last piece of news on our newsreel. Cortana versus Siri. I've got no idea. Jamie, talk to me.
It's a new film. No.
If it was.
So Apple have got their bitch in a box, haven't they? They've got Siri,
Yeah.
and you can talk to her and do what you want with her. And I suppose it stops people having sex with donkeys now. So they've got that instead. But Microsoft are going to do their thing, but they're going to use Cortana from the Halo games. Is this right? Well, you wouldn't know. Why am I asking? But yeah,
So
okay,
what,
they are going to.
For what, on Xbox platforms or on their Windows phones?
It's got to be something to do with this recent acquisition of the Nokia mobile side as well, hasn't it?
That's true. It could be something to do with that. I'd be fine with that. Cortana's a pretty cool character. It would be a bit weird asking Cortana stuff on my phone. That's kind of really strange. But it's no different than asking Siri something. Just because it's an established character, if it works exactly the same, why not?
I mean, I'd happily have a version of Siri that was just Brian Blessed all the time on my phone.
That would be amazing.
That would be the most frightening thing ever.
Or could you imagine like going to bed and being like, oh shit, I'm just going to check the weather for tomorrow. And then you'd be like, Des Lynam, what's the weather for tomorrow? And then he just starts telling you the forecast for the next 5 days. And you're like, I'm put at ease now. And I don't care if it's raining because Des Lynam's told me that it's only mild showers throughout the morning.
Now, you see, if it's not Ollie Williams, I don't want to know.
Des Lynam Siri, that'd be amazing. Oh, sorry to anyone who doesn't live in the UK and doesn't know who Des Lynam is. You should YouTube him.
That's actually about 60% of our fan base.
We don't have a fan base, Gianni. Shut up.
We have a fan.
We have a fan and it's got Ben's microphone attached to it. Yeah.
I told you, man. I've
Your
built a
mum
mic
doesn't count.
stand out of a washing rack. I told you this weeks ago.
Oh,
And a
technology.
desk made of an ironing board.
Oh,
Living the dream, man.
damn, man. Hardcore. Is there anything you guys wanted to mention before we wrap up?
You smell?
Oh, nice. Literally, while we've been recording, there has been talk from an unnamed developer in an interview with Edge that states that the PS4 can run up to 50% faster than the.
I
On the
actually read
Xbox
this
One.
as well.
Yeah.
There was also the second paragraph. I mean, take this with a grain of salt because it's rumors and speculation. But the second paragraph that said there's talk of limiting the PlayStation 4 versions to keep them the same, so as not to spark like problems with Microsoft. That's the worrying bit.
Well, no, the key thing there then is you're going to see. So let's say a game like Watch Dogs is multi-platform there. So you'll see these games that look similar across both formats. But then when a Sony exclusive game comes out later down the line and it just fucking wipes the floor,
It just
with
means
them,
Naughty Dog's
you're going to see it anyway. Yeah, Naughty Dog are going to
crazy.
come along.
Doesn't that already
And then-
happen though?
Yeah, it
That's the
does,
same
but-
as this gen.
But then, yeah, but it's going to be, it's going to be easier to see, isn't it?
And
That's
don't
true.
forget, that's the other thing as well, is Forza if you pardon the pun, Forza overtook GT series, I think, this gen. With the next gen, if there's that much of a difference between two consoles, I think they're going to be... the tides might turn again.
No, let's not play around. Forza is better than Gran Turismo because it's better than Gran Turismo. It's a better game. That's why Forza's better than Gran Turismo.
Hands down a better game.
Yeah, that's why that's a thing.
No, but,
Maybe not to you, Gianni.
no. Don't get me wrong. I played a lot more Forza than I did on GT. But I think we're not getting into it. But GT is a simulator, and that's what driving is. They could have done a lot more, but they're always fucking around with it. But my point is, if there's that much of a difference between the two consoles, you're really going to see it on the homebrew titles. Homebrew on the first party titles.
That made
exclusives.
perfect sense.
You know what I meant.
Right. Well, if there's nothing else you guys want to go through, I guess we'll call it there. Because I know, Jamie, you had to be away about this time. So it's as good a time as any to wrap up.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you want to get in contact with us, you can reach us on Twitter at gsc_games. If you want to get in contact with any of us individually, our Twitter handles will be down in the description. And thank you for listening to our rambles again for another week.
If you listened.
And
Thank
we'll speak
you.
to you soon.
Thank you guys for joining me, as always. I love you guys.
It's all right.
Okay.
All right. Well, bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
A little shit.